You ever seen a shiny black Cadillac Escalade parked in the middle of a dusty cattle auction, surrounded by bleating goats and a crowd of farmers laughing their boots off? Picture this. A prize heifer sniffing the chrome rims, some kids filming it all on his phone, and the auctioneers cracking jokes about luxury hay haulers. That's where this story ends up. But let me take you back to how it all started, because trust me, it's a wild ride. My name's Jake, and I run a feed store in a small town called Willow Creek, Nebraska, a place where folks know your name, your dog's name, and probably what you had for breakfast. Our store's been in the family for 3 generations, surviving floods, recessions, and that one time a hailstorm took out half the roof. But nothing tested me like Lisa, the woman who thought my loading zone was her personal parking lot. This wasn't just about a parking spot, though. It was about respect, survival, and teaching someone a lesson they'd never forget. It all kicked off on a humid Thursday morning in June. I was unloading sacks of grain when Lisa's Escalade rolled up, gleaming like it just drove off a showroom floor. She parked smack in the middle of my red-painted loading zone, the only spot where our delivery trucks can unload 1,500 pounds of feed without blocking the street. I'd seen her do this before, 3 times that month, actually, but this time I had a truck coming in 2 hours with a load that farmers were counting on for their livestock. In this business, timing's everything. One missed delivery, and you don't just lose a sale, you lose trust, and that's a death sentence for a small-town store. I walked over, polite as could be, and tapped on her window. "Ma'am, could you move your car? I've got a delivery coming, and this is the loading zone." She lowered her sunglasses, big, gaudy things that probably cost more than my truck, and gave me this look, like I was a bug she was deciding whether to squash. "Oh, honey," she said, sipping from a neon green smoothie, "I'm just popping into the boutique for 10 minutes. You'll figure it out." Then she rolled up her window, stepped out in these sky-high heels, and strutted off like she owned downtown. I stood there, jaw clenched, watching her disappear into the shop. I didn't yell, didn't cuss. The Lord knows I wanted to. Instead, I thought about my dad, who built this store from nothing, and the farmers who'd been loyal to us for decades. I thought about how one delayed truck could screw over a dozen families who needed that feed to keep their animals alive. Lisa wasn't just parking in my zone. She was parking on my livelihood. And I was done playing nice. Now, let me tell you about Lisa. She was the kind of person who'd park across 4 spaces at the grocery store, then complain the cart boy was too slow. She'd yell at baristas for putting too much foam in her latte, then tip them in loose change. Rumor had it she once called the cops because a neighbor's lawnmower was disturbing her Zoom meeting. She was the queen of our town's HOA, always waving around her connections and dropping lines like, "I know the councilman's wife, sweetheart," every week. She'd park her Escalade in my zone while she shopped at the boutique, leaving notes on my door that said things like, "VIP spot reserved for actual taxpayers." I tried everything, polite requests, warning signs, even a call to the town clerk. Nothing worked. She'd just laugh, flip her hair, and say, "Good luck towing me." That Thursday, though, something in me snapped, not in a loud, angry way, but in a quiet, dangerous one. I wasn't going to let her win again. I called my buddy Travis, who runs a towing company that hauls everything from tractors to broken-down RVs. Travis is the kind of guy who'd give you the shirt off his back, but mess with his friends, and he's got a wicked streak a mile wide. I told him about Lisa, her car, and how she was screwing me over. He listened, chuckled, and then said the words that changed everything. "You ever heard of the county cattle auction?" At first, I thought he was messing with me, but Travis was dead serious. Every summer, the county holds this massive livestock auction just outside town, where farmers from 3 states come to bid on cows, goats, you name it. The lot doubles as a storage yard for towed vehicles, and there's this quirky rule. Any car left unclaimed for 24 hours gets roped off as display material for charity bids. It's not stealing, it's just bad luck if you don't read the signs, and Lisa? She wasn't big on signs. Over burgers that night, we hatched a plan. Lisa would park in my zone like always. Travis would tow her car to the auction lot. We'd let the chaos of the auction cows, farmers, and all do the rest. No damage, no theft, just a lesson in humility, delivered with a side of barnyard flair. Friday morning, I was up at dawn, sweeping the sidewalk, eyes on the street. Right on cue, at 9:15, Lisa's Escalade pulled up. blasting some techno remix that rattled my windows. She didn't even glance at the no parking sign, didn't check for trucks, nothing. She just parked, stepped out in a leopard print jacket and those same ridiculous heels, and tossed me a smirk. "Don't touch my car, farm boy," she said, then sauntered into the boutique. I waited 5 minutes, heart pounding, then called Travis. His tow truck rolled in like a silent predator, big, black, and built for business. In 3 minutes flat, her Escalade was hooked up and gone, leaving nothing but an empty loading zone and a faint smell of her perfume. When Lisa came back, smoothie in hand, scrolling her phone, she froze. Her eyes darted around, like she thought her car had sprouted legs, and walked off. She checked her key fob, muttering, "Did it auto park again?" Then she started pacing, heels clicking, calling her assistant, who, lucky for us, was out of town. I leaned on my broom, playing dumb as a fence post. "Lose something, ma'am?" I asked, all innocent. She glared at me, cheeks red. "You saw something, didn't you?" I shrugged. These fancy cars, they got minds of their own sometimes. For the next half hour, she wandered the block, getting madder by the minute, until she finally called the sheriff. They told her the car was towed, legally, and gave her the address, the county auction grounds. She tried to order an Uber, but her app kept crashing. So she ended up begging a guy in a pickup to drive her out there. Poor fella had no idea what he was in for. Now, picture the auction, a dusty field packed with farmers in overalls, kids chasing chickens, and the smell of hay and barbecue in the air. In the middle of it all, surrounded by pins of bleeding goats, was Lisa's Escalade, looking like a spaceship that crash-landed in a barn. Someone had slapped a sign on it, Lot 27, City Slicker Special. I wasn't there, but Travis sent me a video, and let me tell you, it was gold. The auctioneer, a grizzled guy named Hank, was having the time of his life. "Folks, we got a rare breed today," he bellowed. A Cadillac Escalade, raised on artisanal coffee and HOA dues, with a built-in attitude adjustment. The crowd roared, shouting fake bids like 3 pigs and a pitchfork, and "I'll trade my tractor's back tire." A goat started chewing on the bumper, and some old-timer yelled, "Does it come with a free car wash?" Then Lisa arrived. She stormed through the crowd, heels sinking into the dirt, scarf flapping like a battle flag. When she saw her car, she let out a scream that spooked a nearby cow. "This is theft," she shrieked, yanking at the door handles, which Travis's crew had locked tight. "I'll sue every single one of you." The goat, unbothered, kept licking her tire. Hank leaned into his mic, deadpan. "Ma'am, this vehicle's got more fans than you do. Maybe let the goat finish its lunch." The crowd lost it. Lisa spun around, waving her phone, trying to record evidence, but all she got was a blurry clip of the goat and her own voice screaming, "I'm a victim." A sheriff's deputy stepped in, calm as a summer pond, and explained the tow was legal, red zone, clear signs, no debate. Lisa wasn't having it. She accused Hank of livestock harassment and claimed the goat was a biohazard. Someone in the back yelled, "Lady, you're scaring the chickens," and the video cut off with her flailing at a hen that had wandered too close. By noon, that clip was everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Someone captioned it, "When your SUV gets more bids than your ego." Another added cartoon horns to the Escalade and called it the Lisa Mobile. My phone was blowing up with texts from friends at the auction, and back at the store, customers were already asking, "Is this the place that towed the Karen?" I didn't laugh, not yet. I knew Lisa wouldn't go down easy. Sure enough, she showed up at my store that afternoon, bursting through the door like a tornado in designer boots. "You think this is funny?" she snapped, pointing a manicured nail at my face. I leaned on the counter, cool as could be. "Funniest thing I've seen all year." She demanded an apology, threatened to call her lawyer, the mayor, the governor. You name it. I just smiled. "Maybe try parking in a legal spot next time." She stormed out, vowing revenge, but not before snapping a photo of my store's sign, like that was gonna win her a lawsuit. What Lisa didn't know was that she'd already lost. That video hit 1 million views by Sunday. Local radio stations were playing a remix of her scream with banjo music, calling it Lisa's Barnyard Blues. My store became a tourist trap. Folks drove from 2 towns over to snap selfies in the loading zone. A farmer brought me a pie with a little goat figurine on top, saying, "You're doing the Lord's work, son." But Lisa? She doubled down. She posted a rant on the HOA's Facebook page, calling the tow a hate crime against women of stature and claiming the goat gave her PTSD. Big mistake. The comments section lit up with goat emojis, memes, and one guy who wrote, "I'd have towed you to the moon, lady." She tried to delete it, but screenshots were already circling the internet. Her next move was a disaster. She called an HOA meeting, sent out invites in this tacky Comic Sans font, and pitched it as a forum on rural bullying. I went, mostly to see how far she'd dig her own grave. The room was packed, not with supporters, but with folks eating popcorn and waiting for the show. Lisa stood at a podium, waving printouts of the memes, accusing me of cyberstalking and goat warfare. She even said my store should be moved to some backwoods where it belongs. That's when old Mr. Callahan, who's been on the HOA since the Nixon era, grabbed the mic and said, "Ma'am, if you hate farmers, you picked the wrong town to live in." The room erupted in applause. Lisa froze, then bolted, but not before someone slipped her a tiny plastic goat with a ribbon on it. She didn't come back. After that, Lisa tried one last stunt, a tearful Facebook Live video, begging for donations to escape this hateful town. Halfway through, a stray goat, the same one, I swear, wandered into the frame, grazing by her car. The comments exploded. The goat's back for round 2. She deleted her account the next day, and that was the last we heard from her. Word is she sold the Escalade, bought a plain gray Honda, and parks like her life depends on it now. Some say she's in therapy. Others say the goat haunts her dreams. Me? I don't care. She learned her lesson, and that's enough. Looking back, I didn't do this for fame or laughs, though I got plenty of both. I did it because some people only listen when you hit them where it hurts, their pride. My store's thriving now, with a new coffee nook and a sign that says, "No parking," or you're headed to the auction. Tourists stop by to take pictures, and every so often, someone leaves a rubber goat by the curb, like it's guarding the zone. A kid even drew me and that goat, sunglasses and all, and it's framed by my register with a note. Funny and kind beats mean and loud. That's what this was about. Not just a parking spot, but standing up for what's right. With a little wit and a lot of nerve. So, what do you think? Was I wrong to tow her car? Or did Lisa get what she deserved? Have you ever dealt with someone who thought they owned the world? Drop a comment, share your stories. I want to hear how you'd handle a Lisa in your town. And if you like this, hit that subscribe button, because trust me, Willow Creek's got more stories where this came from.